Hi everyone, I am just doing a little video on one of the stretches that we do in class, particularly 50s plus and Zumba. This is the front of thigh stretch, so your quadriceps and your hip stretch. I always offer two options, but as I look around in class, and even though I give lots of coaching, I don't know if you're not hearing me or you're maybe just not connecting the two and realizing that you're possibly not doing it right. There's some people that are still not getting this stretch right, either or, whether it's for option one or option two. Now, it's really important that you stretch your muscles before class, but most importantly, after class. That is when your muscles are lovely and warm. You've done your workout, muscles are really worked, they're lovely and warm, and that is the best time to really get a nice, good stretch. However, if you're not stretching them, and particularly with these muscles, it can create issues elsewhere in the body. So it's really important you do it right. So the quad stretch, the stand-in version, or the more balanced version, in the sense that if you've not got great balance or you can't hold your foot, this is your second option. Now this, if this is not stretched, it pulls my body forward. So it's going to give me tight hip flexors, it's going to give me a sore back. My back's now not in the right position because even if it's just a little bit, the back's not in the right position. So it's going to cause backache, it's going to cause really tight hip flexors. So if we've been working them in Zumba and 50s plus, which we do all the time, every session, then you must stretch them correctly. If you're not doing these stretches right, you might end up long term with injuries, and that's what I want to avoid. That is why I do stretches with you. That's why I give you loads of coaching points on those stretches. So I would like you to look at this video, not once, but several times. I would like you to then do these with me on the video, so that when you come to class, you've got it absolutely bang on sorted with your quad stretch, and I'll be watching. So it's really important that you get this right. Now, I always offer you this stretch. Now, remember hip and thigh. What I see is this, and balance is everywhere. Can you see that by me doing that, I'm not holding, there's nothing, I'm not stretching, there's nothing stretching because I'm too busy hopping. So I would like you to either, if you don't have absolute perfect balance where you can stay solid like this and stretch, you need to go to the wall. So you need to go and hold something. That doesn't mean that you're any lesser, adequate at doing the exercise. It just means that you are holding the wall so that you can take the whole balance element out of it and you can focus on your stretch. So I'm holding the wall. I now don't need to worry about my balance. I'm going to keep this leg that's holding my weight slightly bent, and that will help my balance as well. If I can't hold the foot, you could hold your shoe or your sock, you could hold your trouser leg. If you can't do any of them, I'll show you the next one in a moment. Once you've got a hold of something, you then, if I just stand like this, can you see my knee is slightly forward of the other knee? I've got a bit of a bend here, so my thigh is a wee bit too much up towards the ceiling. I'm not stretching because I'm not pushing that hip open. So what I need to do is push my foot into my hand, squeeze my bottom. Now do you see the difference? Now I'm stretching. I feel it right down to my knee, and that's where the muscle is. From my hip to my knee, all those muscles are stretching. So I'll show you the not stretching. All I've done is taken the push off my foot. I've just taken the contraction off my glute. I'm not stretching. Push my foot, contract my glutes. I'm stretching. I really feel the stretch. So that is all it is. Very simple. When I squeeze my bottom, the opposite muscle, which is the hip, opens. It's the same. It relaxes. It's the same with every muscle group. When one muscle's contracting, the other muscle is relaxed. It's stretching. So this is why I say to you, grab the wall, grab what you can reach, squeeze your bum and push your hip forward. Push your foot in your hand. Do you feel the stretch? If you do not feel that stretch, this is not the position for you. The other option is for those that can't do that for any reason, it's not comfortable, they can't do it. This is your other option. This is where we go into the lunge. Now, When we do the stretches at classes, we stretch the calf. That's a calf stretch, we're usually here. So, or here. So that's my calf, I've already done it. Then I move on to the quads, and people do their calf stretch a second time. They're not doing their quads. So if your heel's on the floor, it's a calf stretch, okay? If my heel's off the floor and I get my hips into the right position, it's a quad stretch. If I do it this way, it's just a lunge. So it's getting this right. You need to take the back heel off the floor so that you're on the ball of your foot. You then bend the knees a wee bit and see the bottom? I've got to tuck it under. So I'm squeezing the bottom, I'm pushing my hip forward, that stretch goes right down to my knee. Now that's a quadricep stretch, front of thigh and hip stretch. So feel that, give it a go, watch the video, give it a go. That is a calf stretch. Do you now feel the difference? So you're doing this at class and I'm saying lift your heel and you're going, but you're still stretching your calf. If I look at you and I'm saying to you, lift your heel, I need you to lift your heel because you're maybe not realizing. I even ask you, look at your heel. Is your heel on the floor? You either don't look or you look and you're like, no, it's not on the floor. So it's really important. Take the heel off, drop the knees, tilt the tailbone under. That is a hip and a quadricep stretch. So get them right. This one, you'll feel the stretch. This one, it's a different muscle group. Here, you don't feel the stretch. Squeeze the bottom, push the hip forward and push your foot into your hand. You should feel the stretch. So give these a go, really important, so that you can go over it, look at it, make sure you completely understand it. Grab me at class if you don't know or message me and just say, I don't know that I'm getting these right. No problem, I'll spend a couple of minutes with you and I'll make sure you are, because you must get a really good stretch. Hip flexors are notoriously tight if you sit a lot. If they're tight, thighs are tight, everything's contracting, it's all, this is coming forward, you're then going to hurt your back. Over time, you're going to get backache, you're going to get tighter hip flexors. So it's really important you really master these two stretches. Two options when we're standing, so you pick the one that works for you and you do your best to really feel it. If you can't feel it, it's not stretching. So I hope this video has helped you. Let me know how you get on. Please grab me at class if you're not quite sure if you're doing it right, or send me a wee message and I'll see what I can do. But it's better if I can see you actually doing the stretch. Thank you very much for your time.